Ryan Smyth, Captain Canada, led by heart, grit, and loyalty, becoming a legend for both the Oilers and Team Canada. In an era of hockey that's all about breathtaking skill and untouchable speed, one guy reminded everybody that the soul of the game is still forged in grit. His career wasn't some highlight reel of coast-to-coast goals or slick deeks. It was a masterclass in pure toughness, from his relentless bruising battles in front of the net to playing through injuries that would make anyone else quit. He was the guy who scored the goals that left scars. This is the story of Ryan Smyth and what he taught the NHL about being a true warrior. Before he was the heart and soul of the Edmonton Oilers, Ryan Smyth was busy building his legend on the world stage. You don't get a nickname like Captain Canada by accident. That's a title saved for those who truly embody a nation's passion for hockey, and Smyth wore that mantle with an almost sacred respect. He answered the call for his country every single time, playing a record 90 games for Hockey Canada and captaining the World Championship team for a record 6 years. His international resume is just staggering. Gold at the World Juniors in 1995, gold at the World Championships in 2003 and 2004, a World Cup victory in 2004, and, of course, the iconic Olympic gold medal in 2002 that ended Canada's 50-year drought. He is the only player in hockey history to have won gold at the Olympics, World Championships, World Juniors, World Cup, and the Spengler Cup. But this was never about collecting hardware. It was about forging an identity. On teams stacked with the world's most elite talent, Smyth was the engine. He was the one setting the tone, doing the thankless work in the corners and in front of the net that let skilled players do their thing. His leadership wasn't about big speeches. It was in his unwavering choice to show up and give everything for that jersey on his back. That relentless dedication, that pure love for the game you could see every time he stepped on the ice for his country, was the bedrock his entire NHL career was built on. It proved his grit was fueled by something more profound, an absolutely indistinguishable fire. The office. Every great craftsman has their workshop. For Ryan Smyth, it was a brutal, chaotic, and totally unforgiving space, the 4-foot patch of ice right in front of the other team's net. This was his office, and he was the undisputed chairman of the board. In an era where power forwards were supposed to be giants, Smyth, at 6'2" and under 200 pounds, wasn't the most physically imposing guy, but you'd never know it from the way he played, like he was immovable. His entire offensive game was built on one simple, painful idea: get to the net, no matter what. He made his living in what players call the dirty areas, absorbing a punishing ballet of cross-checks to the spine, slashes to the legs, and fists to the face. And for what? For the chance to tip a point shot? To screen the goalie? Or to jump on a loose rebound? These weren't pretty goals. They were garbage goals, born from sheer willpower and a ridiculously high pain tolerance. But don't mistake the lack of glamour for a lack of skill. Smyth had world-class hand-eye coordination, an almost supernatural knack for getting his stick on pucks flying at nearly 100 miles per hour. This wasn't luck, it was a craft he honed relentlessly. Teammates remember him staying late after every practice, working on tip drills until it was second nature. The results speak for themselves. In the 1996-97 season, he exploded for a career-high 39 goals, with many of them scored from just a stick's length away from the crease. He ended his Oilers' career as the franchise leader in power play goals with 126, a record that proves his dominance in that tiny, violent patch of ice. He even tied a Wayne Gretzky team record with 20 power play goals in a single season. Opposing coaches like Ken Hitchcock built entire game plans to stop him, once admitting, "Our feeling was if you didn't get to Ryan, you couldn't get to the Oilers. We had to make it really hard on him, but few ever could." He taught the league that the most valuable real estate on the ice isn't always in open space. It's in the heart of the battle, where goals are earned, not just scored. The price of a goal. If Ryan Smyth's office was the net front, the currency he dealt him was pain. His career is basically a medical textbook of injuries that would have ended seasons, if not careers, for most players. But for Smyth, playing through pain was just part of the job. His toughness wasn't for show, it was essential to his style of play. His incredible 1,270 games in the NHL stand as a monument to his durability and his flat-out refusal to quit. There are countless stories, but some moments are legendary, burned into hockey fans' memories forever. Please take the 2006 playoffs, when he took a Chris Pronger clearing attempt straight to the face. He left a trail of blood on the ice, vanished for a few minutes to get stitched up, and returned, missing only 3 shifts, to assist on the game-winning goal in triple overtime. That one act of defiance completely shifted the momentum of the entire series. For Smyth, a broken nose, shattered teeth, or a face full of stitches were just occupational hazards. He was the definition of old-time hockey. Unless a bone is sticking out or you literally can't stand, you get back out there for your team. Teammates watched in total awe. Jordan Eberle, who played with Smyth during his second stint in Edmonton, said, "Back when he started, you'd get the crap beaten out of you in front of the net. He took it. You see that as a teammate, how hard he battles to score goals? It's contagious throughout the locker room. This wasn't just being reckless. It was leadership by example. It sent a clear message to his teammates and to the opposition. There was absolutely no price he wouldn't pay to help his team win. Smyth taught the NHL that true grit isn't the absence of pain, but the will to conquer it. It's the decision to value your team's success more than your own well-being. He was living proof that a player's impact can be measured in scars just as much as in stats. The heart of an Oiler, toughness alone doesn't make you a legend. What took Ryan Smyth from just a gritty player to a full-blown franchise icon was the massive heart he poured into the crest on his jersey. For him, playing for the Edmonton Oilers wasn't just a job, it was a calling. He was an Alberta kid, drafted by his hometown team, and he played with the kind of pride you'd expect from a fan who was just handed a uniform. This emotional connection is what defined his legacy. Nowhere was this more obvious than on February 27, 2007. After contract talks fell apart, Smyth was traded to the New York Islanders. The press conference that followed was one of the most emotional moments in modern hockey. Smyth, the tough-as-nails warrior, sat in front of the cameras and wept, his voice cracking as he tried to say goodbye to the city and team he loved. It was a raw, vulnerable moment that showed the man behind the myth. Fans didn't see weakness. They saw loyalty. They saw a player whose heart was genuinely breaking because he had to leave home. For many, it felt like the team had lost its very heartbeat. That's what made his return in 2011 so triumphant. When the Oilers reacquired him, it felt like a cosmic error had been corrected. He wasn't the same high-scoring player he was in his prime, but that didn't matter one bit. He brought an identity back. In a locker room full of young rising stars like Taylor Hall or Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Smyth was the veteran presence who could teach them what it really meant to be an Oiler. He led by example, showing up every night, battling for every inch, and reminding everyone what was expected. When he played in his final NHL game in 2014, the team fittingly named him captain for the night, an honor he had never permanently held with the Oilers despite being Captain Canada. The ovation he received was thunderous, a city's way of saying thank you to a player who gave them everything. Ryan Smyth taught the NHL that grit isn't just an internal fire, it's a fire fueled by passion, loyalty, and a love for something bigger than yourself. He proved that the strongest players aren't just those who can endure the most pain, but those who care the most. The objective measure of a player's greatness is often in the echoes they leave behind. Ryan Smyth's influence didn't stop when he hung up his skates. His legacy lives on in the standards he set and the inspiration he continues to give to a new generation of players. He's held up as the prime example of a heart and soul player, a benchmark for work ethic and dedication. Even today's NHL superstars feel his impact. Connor McDavid, face of the modern Oilers, talked about Smyth's presence, saying, "Seeing him around the room in Edmonton, you just get a sense of how passionate he is for the game. He still plays senior-level hockey. That says everything about him. He wants to play, he loves it. That kind of passion is contagious. It's a reminder to a room full of elite talent that consistent effort is what truly separates the good from the great." Smyth's career bridged hockey's old-school blue-collar values with the modern high-skill game. He proved that a player could be a top-line threat without being the fastest or flashiest guy on the ice. His success validated a style of play that often gets overlooked, inspiring countless players who weren't blessed with generational talent, but had all the heart and willingness to work. His contributions have been officially recognized through his induction into the IIHF Hall of Fame and his 2018 appointment to the Order of Hockey in Canada. But his real Hall of Fame is in the hearts of Edmonton fans and in the respect he still commands from teammates and rivals. He was a player who reminded an entire league that hockey, at its core, is a game of will. Ryan Smyth's brand of toughness is a rare breed in today's NHL. If you believe grit is what makes hockey great, hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments which player today reminds you of Ryan Smyth. So, what did Ryan Smyth teach the NHL? He taught the league that a player's value isn't always measured in points, but in perseverance. He showed that the most feared opponent isn't always the biggest or the fastest, but the one who refuses to be outworked. He proved you could be a top-line forward by being the absolute best in a 10-foot radius of the net, and that the price of a goal was one he was always willing to pay. Ultimately, what Ryan Smyth taught the NHL is that grit isn't just about withstanding pain. It's about a relentless will to show up, stand in the toughest areas, and pay the price for your team, night after night. He wasn't just a player, he was a standard. He was the soul of a franchise, Captain Canada, and the ultimate symbol of hockey's grit. Hey hockey fans, you can also follow my blog at https://tedtalkshockey.com, and remember to keep your stick on the ice.